I'm Father Sean McManus, President of the Irish National Caucus in Washington, D.C., and Chief Judge of the World Peace Prize. And this is my 6th video on the Irish National Caucus's Internet petition and on England's partition of Ireland. President FDR called the attack on Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. Well, to me and to every true Irish person, a date that will also live in infamy is December 23rd, 1920. For on that day, the London Parliament cruelly, violently, criminally, and undemocratically partitioned the proud country of Ireland, violating the sovereign will of the Irish people, 73% of whom had voted for national independence in December 1918. This partition is the perfect example of the hubris of empire. It was a vicious, imperialistic, colonial dagger in the heart of historic and ancient and heroic Ireland that had endured almost 1,000 years of England's greed and plunder, of England's racism, genocide, and ethnic cleansing, of England's enforced starvation and extermination. And after the English Reformation in the 1500s, when England ceased to be Catholic, England used another extra layer of deadly oppression, sectarianism, meaning Anti-Catholicism. It must never be forgotten that England systematically tried to exterminate the Irish identity, the Irish language, and the Catholic faith, while of course stealing all the land. That must never be forgotten, just as the oppression of other people must never be forgotten. Jews, Muslim, blacks, and other people of color, class, and creed. When we bear in mind England's long history of trying to eliminate the Irish identity, the Irish language, and the Catholic faith, it is more easy to understand why in 1920 England had no scruples about partitioning Ireland and setting up the anti-Irish and anti-Catholic state of Northern Ireland. It was just another racist display of disrespect for the Irish nation, another callous empire act that England never hesitated to do if it suited England's purposes in Ireland. Now, it's important to understand that partition does not mean that Ireland was partitioned into two equal parts, geographically, like North and South. Not at all. England ripped a mere 6 counties from the rest of Ireland's 26 counties. The 6-county state of Northern Ireland is just 1/6 of the country of Ireland, according to Encyclopedia Britannica. Why was such a tiny little part of a historic nation and country ripped away? Because in about 2.5 of those counties, there were about 1 million Unionists, Loyalists, Protestants who were loyal to England, to 500,000 Catholics. And in its hubris, the London Parliament then gloriously thought this absurdly artificial, blatantly gerrymandered, utterly undemocratic, anti-Irish and anti-Catholic six-county state would survive forever, like the rest of England's empire. Well, we know what happened. 100 years later, England's empire is gone, with Northern Ireland one of its few leftovers, a residue of colonialism, a painful reminder of the corrupt British Empire, which was founded on racism, sectarianism, and state-sponsored terrorism. Thank God the Good Friday Agreement of 1998 brought a great change to Northern Ireland. But we all know that that cannot change the historical fact that England's partition was and is a great crime against the country of Ireland and the people of Ireland. Why in God's name is England in 2020 still ruling part of Ireland? Why would anyone see that as just, democratic, or rational? That is why the Irish National Caucus Internet petition is so timely and strategic. Ireland, too, has the right to be one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The petition, which is also, by the way, the 1974 founding motto of the Irish National Caucus, is based on the American Pledge of Allegiance. But of course, it perfectly evokes all that is best in human rights, solidarity, unity, justice, fairness, equality, and peace. It embraces all the people in the nation and country of the 32 country that Ireland is. It embraces Protestants, Catholics, and dissenters, people of all faiths and of no faith. And where, unlike England, church and state would be separate, and where, again, unlike England, there would be no established church and therefore no state-sponsored sectarianism. Please sign and share our One Ireland petition, which has been signed by almost 17,000 people who support human rights, fairness, dignity, and peace. Join us in this great cause. The petition is posted on change.org and on Facebook and on irishnationalcaucus.org. Thank you, God bless you, and God save Ireland.